Okay, Tuesday, March 26th, Doug from Salt Lake. Just a quick one again tonight. Highly recommend Yusuf El, high frequency radio. You might want to type this in, type him in, type this in. This is another one of those videos that proves that there is a difference between a state citizen and a U.S. citizen. And another one of these videos out there that's got 160,000 views. If you haven't gotten and wrapped your mind around the U.S. citizen and the all capitalized name and the straw man and all that, and how you don't have any rights, but you do have rights, you need to watch this video, man, because you and I have rights, but that corporation, that all capitalized name, does not have rights. And Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, that's what I keep hearing, of the Constitution says that these people can regulate U.S. citizens. Okay? If you're out in commerce and you're a U.S. citizen and you're a corporation, they have the right and they have the authority to regulate commerce. And if you're a corporation, you're operating in commerce. So this video is about getting your passport. Okay? And it's about how to fill your passport out correctly, because your mom and dad made some mistakes in the beginning, and now you're a U.S. citizen and you don't even know it. And that's how they're getting away, because you're in the fucking system and they're just raping you, dude, because they can. Okay? So how about, and I said this a couple videos back, instead of fighting these fools, why don't you just extract yourself from the system? Okay? This is all under invisible contracts, under tacit agreements. You don't know about it, and you go into court like I did. Anybody who's watched my videos, you can see I walk in there with 100 pieces of paper and they don't even look at it, because you're in the wrong jurisdiction and you're appearing in court and you're a dead entity, and it's admiralty and it's equity, and it's not common law. So I just wanted to share this with you.
See the following case law. For a crime to exist, there must be an injured party. There can be no sanction or penalty imposed upon one because of his exercise of constitutional rights. Sherrard versus Cullen, Volume 41, Federal Reporter, page 945. I have received a passport using this method, and so have many others using this method. I do not pay income taxes. I do not get tickets. I do not have to register things or get permits or licenses, and I am left alone for the most part. I do get a fishing license from Arkansas because I like the work they do with the money, and it's cheap. And I got it with my passport, not a state ID, but I never sign it. So weigh your options. Some folks get rid of their driver's license and deregister their cars, but some employers require one. Uber, for example. I do not suggest any of this one way or the other. Decide for yourself to what extent you want to go. I have found this to be the silver bullet. It is the difference between night and day. Foreclosures are stopped cold because they cannot collect debt against a state citizen valued in anything other than gold and silver coin. But if you are in a non-judicial foreclosure state, it could be a different story. See U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 10. Federal Reserve notes are not gold and silver coin. Prison sentences for those out on bond have gone away. Real estate taxes have disappeared, and I can go on and on. But experiences do differ throughout America. Sometimes warrants go away. Sometimes they do not. But they are supposed to. Anything you have in controversy before you get the state citizen passport may persist afterward. If it does, you can settle it. Then you are free and clear.
So he's talking about settling. He's talking about discharging the debt. That's part of your secured party process, is being able to take possession of this trust, and you give them some account numbers. There's a lot of idiots out there that think this TDA account is something where you can just go out and buy Lambos and stuff. That's not the case. This is only, they don't know the difference between private and public. So this is only for public. This is only the state and the feds And okay, so just keep listening.
See how the passport works for you on small things before you go to bigger things. This treatise is not to be taken as legal advice, and I do not accept any liability for what you do with the information.
Okay, and because he's saying it, I'm saying it. And I'm going to make the record real clear from now on, man. This is all education. This is all, this isn't legal advice. Okay, I'm just showing you guys some stuff that I'm learning. And so anybody out there that thinks, whatever, I'm not a lawyer. This isn't a law firm. This isn't legal advice, blah, 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 all that bullshit. Okay, all right.
Please do not share this treatise with those of questionable morals. About taxes. Article 1, Section 10 of the United States of America Constitution, 1789-1791, prohibits states from using anything but actual gold and silver as tender in payment of debt. So how do they tax you in the Federal Reserve notes? Federal Reserve notes are defined as obligations in 18 United States Code, Section 8, and Title 31 United States Code, Section 3124, prohibits states from taxing federal obligations except for corporations.
Well, wait a minute. What? Are you a corporation?
So if a U.S. citizen or resident alien can be taxed in Federal Reserve notes, then they are a United States corporation / U.S. citizen. A state citizen is not, and no constitutional tax can be levied against a state citizen, and Congress has not authority over state citizens. Since many across the nation have figured out the citizenship fraud and are correcting the fraud via passport, the enemy is in panic. The IRS has the right to inquire about taxes if you cannot prove state citizenship.
So how do you prove state citizenship? Well, where were you born? I was born in the state of fill in the blank, correct?
See the following case law. Unless the defendant can prove he is not a citizen of the United States, the IRS has the right to inquire and determine a tax liability. United States versus Slater. So, order lots of certified copies of your birth certificate, then make sure you include a certified copy with any correspondence with government. If you receive letters from any government entity, mail them the birth certificate with a letter telling them to cease and desist. An example cease and desist is at the end of this treatise. Do this for each and every letter they send you. Always mail it back to the address you got it from, as well as to the address they want you to answer. They may send you a letter from a different address later. That's how they try to get around it. I mailed about 7 letters before they stopped. Some of the envelopes I didn't even open. Do not let them scare you. Then they are finished. This goes for any government entity. An example cease and desist is at the end of this treatise. Do not panic should you receive scare letters, certified mail or not. They're meant to scare you into capitulation. They're meaningless, but they look like they have official jurisdiction and cites lots of law and etc.
So I just want to stop here real quick. I don't know if you guys caught that. So when you get something from the government, after you have corrected your status and you are now a state citizen and have a passport, you get a certified copy of your birth certificate and you mail it to them. You should probably include a copy of your passport also and a cease and desist letter. I mean, could it possibly be that easy?
They most typically use words such as offer, request, proposal, notice of non-filing, you need to, we want you to, we need you to, possible prosecution, note the word possible, and etc. And the enemy sometimes stuffs your mailbox full of these official-looking scare letters to enhance the scare factor, 4 or 5 at a time, and send them often. They're trying to scare you into obedience. These letters are carefully crafted to leave you shaking with fear. The people who receive them send back a cease and desist letter with birth certificate. An example cease and desist is at the end of this treatise.
Yeah, I know you said that.
This should be your reply with a birth certificate to each and every letter you receive from any source on any subject. Should you receive follow-up letters, simply send the same thing each and every time and include a birth certificate because it's proof of your state citizenship. A lot of folks do not even open the letter. They simply send it back with a cease and desist and a birth certificate. Most people have reported receiving 5 to 10 letters before they stop writing. They cannot do anything, so do not worry. I personally received a letter that said I had 10 days to comply with their request. I laughed out loud and threw it in the trash. Complying with a request, proposal, notice of non-filing, offer of settlement or anything with such wording is not mandatory. And had they used words like demand, amount due, tax court, answer with a cease and desist letter with a copy of my passport and birth certificate, and do not let them scare you with any threat. There's nothing they can do to you. Government officials are not even allowed on your land. Your land is allodial. Do not let them scare you into compliance. Fear is their only tool. Bank accounts and financial institutions.
Okay, so you can watch this video again. Once again, highly recommend this guy. As you can see, he's got one here about the Buck Act, invisible contracts, public versus private. See, that's those knuckleheads out there trying to buy stuff. And, you know, there's a difference, man, between private and public. Okay? Public is your all cap. You operate in private. Here's 1099 OID. Had a tax back or tax back to the source. Still getting used to the taxes. Judge Dale, this is a good one. Judge Dale put out a book about the true courtroom that you're in. Dealing with debt collectors. This is a really good one too. So, all right, everybody. We'll do another one again shortly. All right, peace.